Hello, my name is Laura Huitron, and I will be presenting to you a research that I did on the toxic medical community. It's called toxic leadership in the medical community. Um, the Bible says, "Obey your leaders and submit to them, for they are keeping watch over your souls, as those who will have to give account. Let them do this with joy and not with groaning, for that would be no advantage to you." And here what it's saying that our bosses are people that are supposed to be our leaders, and they are supposed to be leaders so that we can follow an image in what image them for the better of the organization. I found that my problem statement. What is toxic leadership? Is leadership and what is toxic leadership in the medical community, and what are the characteristics of the toxic leader? So I'm going to describe some of them. One, yelling, throwing charts, making people feel bad, not being a team player. Even though that you are a boss or you are a leader, you are a team leader as well, a team player as well. Toxic leaders lack self-confidence, lack of self-control. Toxic leaders are arrogant and hate to be corrected by others in the medical community. Leaders are usually feared and are difficult to work with, and there is abuse among many healthcare professionals, and no one is immune. I have worked in the medical community for about 25 years, and I have seen a lot of abuse in the part from nurses, and it trickles down from doctors down to nurses down to the medical people. And I think that ultimately this also affects patient care. So that is why I wanted to research it. The toxic leader has many characteristics, like I said, and behavior in the medical field. I know that once I worked for a doctor that I would be in the bathroom, and he would be so upset because something was wrong with his chart that if I was in the bathroom, he'd slide the chart down to where I was so that I can take a look at it. And I've seen people being pushed. I've seen nurses pushing. I've seen name calling. I've seen a lot of things. So that's why I wanted to research something like this. What I found is that during my search, I was not able to get many doctors or nurses to actually do my survey and to actually get them to admit that they were stressed. Some of the doctors and nurses and medical staff feel that if they are stressed, that it is a sign of weakness. So no one wants to admit that they are being toxic or they're being mean. They're just thinking, hey, I need to get a job done, and we need to do it. Next slide, please. If any part of a religious position recognizes fallenness, original sin, or evil in the world, then we understand that leadership grounded by power has potentially toxic roots. So that means somebody that is in a high position has potential to be toxic, and it doesn't really just go into the medical community. It can go into an office. It can happen in our own family, where people are just toxic. They want to be feared. They want people to do what they want them to do. And like I said, I chose to do the medical community because I wanted to see why they why the behavior, why the arrogance, and why so many things that are happening in the medical field. In my next slide, someone's not having a good day. As you can see, this person is locked in their office, and I don't think they're going to come out. I don't think they're having a good day. And I've seen that happen, and I'm thinking that this person should just stay in his office, or maybe they should have just stayed home. Next slide, please. The methodology that I chose was the quantitative method that I used for my research, since I was going to be working with people's experiences, and that was the basis of my research. I used SurveyMonkey, and my audience was my participants were from the age of 18 to 65. I found during my research that people that were in their mid 40s to 50s were the ones that answered my survey. And I think that at that time, people are already knowing what they're on their either second career or their career that they chose. I did have nurses take this survey, but like I said, I don't think that they were very gosh, I don't know. I think like they were not very honest in answering. One, I think, is fear of letting people know how they feel. And if you're taking care of this person and your mom or your dad is there, you don't want anybody to be stressed. I asked them what their ages were, the highest, I thought the highest they've been into school. One of the questions was, did your doctor know you before you went in there to the office? And most of the people answered, sometimes he knows them and sometimes they don't. I believe that when a patient goes to the doctor and they go to regular visits, this gives them a chance to know their doctor and they know them personally. Maybe a person that has a chronic disease might be going maybe every 3 months, every month to the doctor, versus a patient that only goes in for colds and flus. Then I think that the doctor might not be able to know them. I also asked them, if my participants, if they felt that the doctor, if they felt valuable there at their work, and most of them answered yes, they did. But there was a very small percent that said that they did not feel valuable. I think, like I said, most of these people, they're on their second career, or it was they've been working there for that organization for a very long time, and that's why they felt that way. They feel like they belong. I also asked them, how often do you feel stressed at work? And some of them answered sometimes and not usually, and some did say, I think it was 9.72%, said that they did feel stressed when they were at work. I had hoped to educate future leaders with my research, and only because, like I said, I have worked with so many types of doctors and in a hospital, that I wanted to do something good for the medical community and how to avoid to be an institutional cancer. I came with a conclusion that doctors and nurses and medical personnel, and they are human. And I in my paper I put how would you feel, that you don't get enough sleep, you don't get enough to eat, and you've tried all your measures and all that you can do for this patient, and they're still sick. What could you do? What could you do to help them? Or you're a nurse and you're short-staffed, and the bell rings and somebody has to go to the restroom, but next door you're working on you're doing CPR on a patient. So I think that overall, I don't say that it's better or that they did good, but I'm saying that they have very stressful jobs. I assume police officers and firemen and EMTs, I believe maybe that they also feel this stress. I want you to take away from this presentation that we are not perfect. We all should strive to be servant leaders. And whether you are a small person, you think you're a small person in your community and you won't make a difference, believe me, people are always watching to see what other people are doing. Try to be on your best, because people want to mirror you. They want to look up to somebody. And if we all do our part in being followers and being also leaders at the same time. I read in The Art of Fellowship that there are no leaders without any followers. So it's good to be a follower too, but we also need, remember that you might be at your work, you might think that you do not make a difference, but yet you go home and you have somebody that is looking up to you, your children, your wife, somebody. So it's best that you always be on your best behavior. Is toxic leadership, are we all prone to it? I think everybody is prone to being toxic at one point in their life. I leave here with knowing that doctors and nurses always, and medical personnel, they always want to do the best what is for you. But I think most of the times there's a lot of things that are preventing them from doing their job. A doctor, if they're in the hospital, all other hospitals are calling. Now the hospital have hospitalists, and this is avoiding a lot of tension from the doctors. So now these doctors just work for the hospitals, and they help the doctors, and that way they don't have to come into the hospital. The sad thing is that if you get sick, you might not get to see your doctor, but when you get discharged, you will be able to get your doctor to see you and follow up. Again, this is Laura Huitron, and it's been a pleasure talking to you about toxic leadership in the community. Have a blessed day.